Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading for the week beginning October the 24th through to the 28th, 2016. Thank you so much to those of you who got in touch after last week's reading when we had the fantastic experience of a light orb traveling right across the screen. I wish I could guarantee you that's going to happen again, but obviously that's not something that happens on demand. It was certainly not something I asked for, but absolutely delightful to stumble across it. And thank you to the subscriber who let me know, because I don't watch my videos, they're too embarrassing, so I never knew about it. But yeah, I've watched it a few times now, and it's just the most incredible thing to see. You know, when we believe in things that are associated with spirituality, that are sent from heaven, we don't have proof. And so, you know, it's very difficult sometimes. We know them in our heart, we know them in our intuition, but sometimes just getting a little bit of material, tangible proof is just something, it's just a real lift, and it just affirms everything, and sometimes that can really help. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. So let's start the reading for Monday the 24th of October, and we'll see what's going to come up for the week. So these cards are, as I've explained before, but for those of you who haven't seen my readings before, I'm shuffling angel cards, and a card will either jump out like that, or they tell me to stop shuffling at some point, and then I explain to you what's on the card. Now, it's not a prediction. It's just going to. It's not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. It's going to tell you various energies that are around and what might come up for you. So for Monday, what we've got is divine timing, and remember also that you need to listen to your intuition as to what's relevant for you. I know sometimes people derive meanings from here that weren't actually the message that I was being sent, but because I'm catering to a very wide audience, I'm being very necessarily general here. So trust your intuition. So divine timing, this is all about the fact that we have calendars and schedules. The universe does not have time for those sorts of things. When I say it doesn't have time, it's actually quite an apt saying, because it literally does not follow your schedule and does not care about the things that you think should happen and when you think they should happen. It lets them unfold at the rate they're supposed to unfold. And unfortunately, you know, because we are human beings who want to be married by a certain period of time, or we want to be promoted by a certain period of time, the universe goes, sorry, it doesn't work like that. So the underlying message here is to have patience. It's a very frustrating message, I know, particularly for those of you who are quite determined and quite focused on your goal. Hello, Capricorns. This is really just reminding you that there's a lot to the puzzle that you can't see, and so sometimes things need to fall into place before you can have what you want, or what you're heading towards. So just trust that the universe is working things out to happen just when they need to. And it doesn't mean that just because what you want isn't happening now that it's never going to happen. It just means literally it's not happening now, and that's okay. Later on it will make sense to you, or maybe it won't. Sometimes it doesn't, but just trust the universe that it's letting things happen when they need to. So now I'm being told to draw your attention again to this bow and arrow. I talked about this on Friday, about the symbolism of archery here in terms of our goals and what we're working towards. So again, it's about being really focused on where you want to go and aiming towards it, but understanding that arrow is going to take as long to reach its target as it needs to take, and that's kind of out of your hands. All you can do is keep working towards it. So they're also saying don't give up. So that's Monday, and we're looking at Tuesday the 25th. This is possibly one of my most difficult card decks because it's the biggest. Oh, and quite awkward to shuffle. So we've got Six of Michael. This particular card deck follows the tarot system. I personally am not a tarot reader. It just never resonated for me, the tarot. But in this particular deck, Doreen Virtue, who created the cards I use, and she teamed up with Radleigh Valentine, who's a very well-known tarot card reader, to create an angel tarot deck. So we've got the Six of Michael. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, and you know there's such storm imagery used in this card. Hopefully you can see that, and that's very symbolic. We go through storms all the time in our lives, don't we? And that's why a lot of inspirational quotes talk about nautical sort of expressions, weathering the storm, setting sail, going on voyages. And that's because that's very much like our lives. We do go into uncharted territory, into murky waters sometimes. And we are sort of besieged by things that are out of our control. So here they're saying they know that things have been difficult for you. This year has brought up a lot of challenging times for people, and you could say that about any given year, I know, but I know from what people have been telling me, that the things that people have been facing have been really pushing them, but pushing them in a way that's been necessary for their growth. And all challenges are actually for our greatest good, but there's something about what's been happening this year that's been really, really kind of edgy, I think, in terms of getting us to develop and grow. So, but this is essentially saying you're navigating your way out of the storm now, and it's time for you to really try to look at where you want to go next, because when we're dealing with challenges, we tend to be quite tunnel visioned in terms of getting through that sort of period. But now they want you to open up and look at the bigger picture of where you want to go next, and what you actually want, using the knowledge that you've gained, the lessons that you've learned, and think about where you want to direct your ship to next. So, but they're also saying you're out of that time now, so you can relax, but do know that you will go through further challenges, but you will always be guided through the storm. And that's why spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, I don't know, regular walks, whatever it is that's your sort of time for connecting to the divine and to what's within, those are so important, because that is how we find our way through. So looking at Wednesday, the 26th, I know for me, my meditation practice seems to fall by the wayside whenever I'm really stressed out or really freaking out about something, and that's the time I need it most. It's so crazy. Yeah, what can I say? We're all human, but there are opportunities for all of us to, even though we're challenged, to try and reflect on what's actually going to help us, and to do that even though the brain's going, what about this, what about this, what about this, and consumed with worry. But we need to go back to what are the things that will actually help us. Self-care, good nutrition, getting exercise, lots of sleep. Yawn, so boring, so important though, so important. That's our foundation. So here, Wednesday, it's the 26th of October, and we've got Look Deeper. Now, the fact that this angel is stirring the surface of a pond is really sort of a metaphor for how things aren't quite what they seem. And what they're saying here is that it's about people that you're dealing with. Now, I know that you don't want to go through life suspecting that people have got an ulterior motive and that people are out to get you. That's not at all what's happening here. It's not saying that people aren't trustworthy, but it is saying there's more going on here than what you perhaps realise. It's not about what you could... Sorry, I'm just listening in. It's not saying that you can't trust people. It's just saying people have got more going on within their lives than you're aware of, and that's having an impact on how they treat you and how they approach the situation. So that's going to mean different things for different people, of course. But it's really saying don't take anything at face value. You need to do a bit of research, tune into your intuition, and really sit with things. Don't rush into anything. Just do some research before you move ahead. Workplace, they're saying, particularly the workplace. So Thursday, the 27th. Sometimes they make me wait. It's okay. It takes as long as it takes. Open your arms to receiving. I've talked a lot in the past about how love is about a balance of giving and receiving. Obviously, we all want to give love. That's what we're here to do. But we also need to be willing to receive it. And you know the types of people who are always giving, giving, giving and won't let anybody help them? They are the ones who are the most starved of love, because they won't open up enough to let people give it back. And love doesn't love has to be a two-way street. I'm not just talking about romantic love, I'm talking about all sorts of love, um, and essentially kindness and compassion. So sometimes people are unwilling to receive because they think it's a sign of weakness. They think they should be independent enough to operate on their own, and not need anything from anyone. But that's rubbish. We all need each other. That's why we're here. We're a community. We need to be helping each other. And heaven works for other people, so it sends other people to help you. You've probably had many experiences of this in your life, and so it's very important to realize that you need to be willing to let people help you. And I give this example so many times of accepting compliments. If you brush off, if someone says something lovely about you, even if it's just about your appearance, um, you know, that's a gift. Take it. Don't brush it off and say, oh, no, I feel terrible today. Or say thank you. That's a sign of love. People don't just give compliments for no reason. Or perhaps they do, but let's not go down that track. But it's very important that you are willing to accept love, kindness, offers of help and support from other people and from the universe. Now, they are saying that when heaven gives help to you, it can come from other people, as I explained earlier, but it also can come from places that you wouldn't have expected. And if you're closed off to accepting that help, you're going to miss it. And remember that everybody has guardian angels assigned to help them. That's their job. They're here to help you. So um, you're not being needy by asking for help and by accepting it. Sometimes people, when they get a message, when I'm doing a reading for them and I'm passing on a message from the angels, they'll say, oh, tell the angels I'm sorry I didn't listen the first time, or that I did this. And I say, you don't need to apologize to angels. They don't have egos. They're not human. They don't get upset if you don't take their guidance. They don't get, annoyed if you don't do what's going to best help you. You don't need to apologize to them. All they want to do is give you help. All you need to do is accept it. That's it. It's that simple. And of course, say thank you, because the gift of your gratitude is something that opens up that energy towards receiving more blessings. And that's the sort of energy that builds up a greater world, because we all need more of that flow of giving and receiving into the world. The more we can do when we work with the angels, it's not selfish. It's not, we're not trying to take, where it's just a simple exchange of receiving from the universe, and we're giving back because we are investing in ourselves, and that lifts everybody up. It's also, I've talked about this a lot as well, but it's not selfish to look after yourself and to do what you need to do, because unless, of course, it is a selfish thing that you're doing, but if you're watching this, I can guarantee you're not a selfish person. So investing in yourself with your time, your energy, your money is a really valuable thing to do, because how else will you grow and learn? And we're here to do that. We're not here to stagnate. Got a little bit off subject. That's not unusual for me, but hopefully you're still with me and that all made sense. There's so much I can say about this topic because it just comes up again and again. It's so important, but the most important thing is ask for help, accept it. So Friday, the 28th, good grief, we're hurtling towards Christmas at a rapid rate. The 28th of October, and almost Halloween. Relationship harmony. I love the word harmony. It's one of my favourite words. It's such a beautiful, peaceful word. Now, this isn't romantic specifically, although it could be for your particular situation. Again, use your intuition. But it's about disharmony, essentially, where you're having tension with other people. That could be with a workmate, when we go back to this situation here. Or it could be with a member of your family. It could be a friend. It could be, anyone you have some sort of relationship with. And it's really about trying to resolve that conflict. What they're saying is try not to get too hung up on who's right and who's wrong. what you want to do is to let go of the bitterness and the tension that's there, because that's where we get stuck. And when we have those kind of situations, our energy starts to get blocked up, and that's kind of messy for our own kind of well-being. So try and open up to this idea that everybody's doing the best they can at any given time, and we all make mistakes, and it's not really about right or wrong. So what you want to do is just create, not necessarily to have a big reconciliation, but at least to erase that tension and have just a bit of harmony and tranquility there. So, and the way that you do that is by changing the way that you approach the situation and asking for help. Of course, asking for help. One of the angels' most important jobs, as well as giving us guidance that's going to help us make better choices, is to help us find peace. And peace is something we already have within us. We don't go externally look at. We don't to find it. We don't go externally. We don't go on a meditation retreat and then come home and never meditate again. So because when we meditate, we're digging through those layers of stress and worry to find the core of peace that's already within us. And we forget it's there. So that's the purpose of doing things like meditation, as I referenced earlier, yoga, etc. We don't need to find them outside ourselves. We don't go and talk to someone and find peace, although you could, but it's not going to stay with you. And chances are, even when you find it within yourself, it's not going to stay with you because life. But it's important that you have the tools to know how to find it again. So that's one of the best things that you can do in terms of adulting, is know how to go within to find peace. Whoops, that's run the wrong way. Okay, so when we look back at the week, it's kind of a mixed bag. We've got some messages about patience and about setting goals was a major theme last week, and it's kind of continued with these two cards. This is encouraging us to go and set goals, but to remember that they aren't going to perform to schedule. It's a bit like when you go to visit a new city or a new country and you want to see some wildlife and it doesn't appear. Like you go on a whale watching boat and there's no whales. They just don't turn up when you want them to. So, like a good man. Six of Michael. That was all about coming out of the storm and about trying to look ahead to go to where you want to go next. So it's very common, those. And then we've got not taking things at face value, and which I know sounds a bit negative. That's not the case. It's about caution, really, which is similar to the patience message we've had, and also accepting help and support and love, most importantly, and trying to deal with some of the conflicts that you're in, and trying to bring some peace into those situations. So again, I guess that setting goals, that's probably the only theme that's emerged here. But there are some really good messages here about trying to find peace and what we can do to kind of enhance our human experience, I guess. So I'll put these on my social media, as I always do. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel, and my Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel, obviously. My website is www.onegroundedangel.com, and you can reach me there if you have any questions or if you'd like to book your own personal reading, because obviously these are very general. So, and that's it for the week. What have I done? 18 minutes 50. That's pretty good for me. Trying to keep them shorter for you. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this and you've learned something, and I hope that it stands you in good stead for the week ahead. Have an amazing week, and I'll read for you again next week. Take care.